Hello and welcome to the second computer game show Talks Over, an old thing. We don't have an official name for these, do we? Separate from the live ones. This is just...
No, I was thinking about rebranding that actually. Maybe they should be like Reacts and this should be Talks Over.
Reacts. Yeah, people love people reacting to things. It's
great.
All
over it.
My name is Sean Bell. I'm joined by David Turners.
Oh.
James Farley.
Hello.
And Matt Murray.
Yo.
James Farley. Hello.
I love it.
So this time we're going to be doing the Nintendo E3 2011 press conference, which was when they announced the Wii U. But at the time we weren't entirely sure what it was.
Well, this is it. I remember. I think we were on the air. I think we were at Play Radio.
Okay.
At the time, I think. I'm trying to remember. It was either that or I was driving, and because I didn't watch it live.
Mm.
I think Adam Capone described it to me.
Right.
That's why I think we were on the air, because he used to do that sort of thing. And I remember him saying, "It's like a controller thing, but we're not quite sure what it does, or we're not." And I was like, "Well, what's the console like?" We don't know if there is a console. There's a controller. And I'm going, well, you've seen the controller, yeah, fine, but what's the console look like? I don't think there is one. And it was just like...
Well, this is what's going to be interesting.
Confusion.
So, yeah, same as last time. None of us have watched this recently or anything. So, by the end of it, are we going to be like, oh, well, actually, there were things we could have spotted? Or is it going to be
obvious.
like, no, it really was not clear at all?
Well, I know that the console was actually on this.
Yeah.
I think what I'm interested in, is if it makes sense knowing what it actually is now.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched this since, it first aired, really.
See, I remember, I think, being in a Skype chat when this was going on. I think with you, Matt, actually, at the same time.
I remember that,
we would just keep on saying, like, but what is it? Like, over and over, just keep on saying,
is it new or is it a peripheral?
Yeah, is it a peripheral? And even after they'd revealed it wasn't, people were still going, but is it a peripheral? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go into
it. To be clear, basically, this isn't the whole E3 2011 press conference. This is just the last half an hour.
This is just the Wii U bit. Okay.
Yeah. So there was now, I think it's like an hour and 10, hour and 20 before this, where they went through other stuff.
3DS stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3DS stuff was just before this section, and then it cracks onto the last half an hour of goodness.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Right. Shall I hit play?
Yeah, go for it, man.
There is one more order of business left for us today.
Oh, the Reggie.
To make a proper introduction to a new gaming companion.
But again, he's already said a proper introduction to new.
Began to make perfect sense.
Can I just pause it there, just for a second, right? Just for a second. His intro was, it's time to make a proper. Considering all we've said about us not knowing what the fuck this was when this aired, when this came out, he said it's time to make a proper introduction to a new gaming companion.
Yeah, companion.
Which makes it sound like a peripheral, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes absolutely no sense.
And then also, you've got this massive logo up behind him that just says Wii.
Yeah. I mean, the communication was shocking.
Yeah.
Once you started hearing it as we. It was clear how much fun
I won't fault that.
Had playing together, even with people who weren't gamers before.
He just made piss jokes.
But in thinking about a new Nintendo system, we knew the prevailing thought would be this. Yes, the game will probably still be right for all of us, but could it also be a perfect fit just for you?
He's got a weird presenting style. He's got a weird presenting style.
It is a weird style, isn't it? It's
He sounds like he's speaking in a different language and being dubbed over the top. Do you know what I mean? It's just weird. It's just
he's
strange.
got a style.
But I've always thought it doesn't sound like he entirely believes what he's saying either. And he's trying.
I think he improved on that though.
Oh, he
as
it
went on, when Reggie got more comfortable in that role, he definitely improved on that. But you're right. He sounds like an android up there right now.
He's so robotic. Yeah,
but also he knows what he's about to deliver as well, doesn't he? He knows what this is going to be.
A great gaming companion.
Yeah.
So convinced of it that we put that pronoun right in the name. So today, welcome to the world of Wii.
Oh god, what an awful name for the console as well.
Also, it's a little U. Like that basically says to me, Wii is the main thing. The U is like an add-on. It's a separate. It's like,
and watching this again, I see what he's saying because it's we and you, as in two groups of people or whatever. But that did not land at all at the time.
It didn't land
for years afterwards. Really.
And you've also got to remember, Matt, that they released a console called the new 3DS. So, I mean, you can go into a shop and say, I want to buy the new 3DS. Well, there hasn't been one for a few years.
Yeah.
But the new one. No, I know what you're saying, but there hasn't been one for a while.
Can you go back a tiny bit? Because listen to the applause. It doesn't sound very excited.
No, I thought it sounded all right, actually.
Yes.
Go on.
The game will probably still be right for all of us. But could it also be a perfect fit just for you? And the answer to that question is an emphatic absolutely. We're so convinced of it that we put that pronoun right in the name. So today, welcome to the world of Wii U.
Come on, there was a delay.
It might just be the way it's recorded.
It's a big auditorium or whatever.
Yeah.
A big theatre.
Rubbish.
We'll never know.
Rubbish. There was a massive delay, and then there was like a smattering of applause
James, you've
as
heard
people were
how
trying
our
to figure
live
it out.
shows sound when we get the recordings back, right? This is they're not necessarily representative of how excited people
There was
really were.
there was no whooping or anything at all.
Yeah,
it
good.
Was,
I'd
you
love to see a
complain when people are
transcript.
whooping. What are you on about?
Nintendo is not a whoop, but like Microsoft, maybe Sony, but Nintendo.
Rubbish. They always do that. There's always
There's
whooping
a
at
whooping
Nintendo
crowd.
ones.
He's obsessed with Whoop. I'd love to see a transcript of that intro because he says something like he says a sentence and then ends it with like a word that you don't expect, and the answer to that is absolutely. And it's like what? It's just like what?
Well, he was supposed to say absolutely yes, wasn't he? And instead he says absolutely.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's a system we will all enjoy together, but also one that's tailor-made for you.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, no, Sean, it's really clever because he said you and there's a U in the name.
Yeah.
Oh, smart, brilliant.
We're only a minute and a half into this. Good point. Keep going. Okay.
James, this is paid for. Our patrons are paid
This
for
is
this.
worse than the Xbox One reveal. It is.
It is.
Is it unique? Unifying? Maybe even utopian?
Loads of words.
Utopian!
Is it utopian?
Utopian! Jesus!
The words are too big.
I mean, look at that face. He does not believe what he's just said.
Is it umbrella?
This is
We're running out of U words.
Is it urinal?
Unicycle.
Is it a unicycle?
Is it ukulele?
Get out.
The answer is also yes to all of this. And here's the reason why.
Oh, man.
This is the new controller for Wii U.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That is cool, though.
Yeah.
It's different from anything you've played before. It's infinitely complex and yet perfectly simple.
Infinitely
Infinitely
complex.
complex.
It can change the way you
Infinitely
game
complex,
personally,
but yet really
and it can
says,
change
what
the
the
way you
fuck is you
interact
talking
with your
about?
Did you see also on the back of that looked
Yeah.
quite different to the final release?
Did it?
Like the triggers were
I'm
in a
going
weird
back.
position.
I don't think they were they?
They were, yeah. They were really odd. They were like, look, here,
Anything
you'll see.
You've played before.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at those, look.
Oh, yeah, they look weird.
They
They
like,
don't look that
no,
because
go
they
down.
were down there.
No, they weren't. They
No,
were
they
on
weren't.
the
They were
top.
up.
No, they weren't. The
They were.
triggers. No, they had two triggers, one at the top on each thing,
Yeah, but
and then
not
on the
right
back
down
they had.
like that.
Yes, they were.
They were not.
Right. Okay, I'm
Let's
looking
have a
this
look.
up.
I'm going to have a look.
They were.
Like, I guess, I mean, we haven't probably kicked off, but you guys all owned a Wii U, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually own one. I saw it and thought, I don't need an accessory for my Wii. And so that point I didn't bother. And you know, I remember a bit of launch weekend sort of being tempted because Nintendo Land was like, oh, it's okay actually. And I know, like, I think
Nintendo Land's great, man.
Yeah, you at launch, Sean. You're like, it's quite good actually. And I was like, oh, I'm sort of tempted, but it wasn't enough to get me involved.
I don't know if you'd be able to see this, but
no, you are kind of right.
I'm absolutely right.
No, you're not. Well, they still look.
Dave, you turn your brightness down. We'll be able to see it.
I can't do that, but it's a slightly different shape.
Slightly different shape buttons.
But they are in the location we were talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly the same.
If you want, I can minimise the video and we can Google image search and show it on the. No, fuck it. That'd be.
No.
I'll end up revealing like what I've been googling for the last.
Just know that I was right again.
Right. Okay. Let's crack on.
It's infinitely complex and yet perfectly simple.
I mean, that's a Tinder bio, if anything. Any single poo out there.
All at the same time. It can change the way you game personally, and it can change the way you interact with your family and friends.
Didn't do any of that.
To begin explaining, let's take a little quick peek at Wii U in action.
Am I right in thinking that the original design in this video shows those sliders that you got on a 3DS rather than proper thumbsticks, and then they changed that before release?
They did look very flat then,
yeah. They look like the sort. It wasn't a nub, but it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep. Door.
Oh god. I
So
they play golf and stuff, don't they? I remember this.
Hey, it's time to watch some baseball.
So that is the first shot of the actual console there, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't focus on it at all, do they?
Yeah, and because they've used the white one instead of the black one, we were like, that didn't even register, did it?
No, it looked like a Wii. It looked like a Wii, and that was what was part of the confusion.
Yeah.
Because from that angle, it just looks like a Wii, doesn't it? It doesn't.
Yeah.
You know.
What? Oh, they're talking TV.
Yeah, mate.
They're talking TV, James.
See, and there's a Wii remote, which further muddies the waters.
Oh my god! Look, it's foreshadowing. They say Switch. We could have guessed the name.
Good point.
It's all there in front of us.
It was.
You're right. Those sticks are different, aren't they?
Yeah. I remember everyone going. I think there was a big uproar about it. Like, we want fucking sticks, not those slider things. And I mean, Nintendo changed
bullshit, right? Because the way they're drawing on that looks like a capacitive touchscreen.
I was gonna say,
it very much wasn't.
It was resistive. Was it resistive?
It was, yeah.
It was resistive, yeah.
It felt horrible to draw stuff with.
Bit tic-tac-toe.
Play only on the new controller seems.
Again, just controller with control with the new controller.
It kind of forgets that that you still had to be well within range of like this tiny range of the console as well.
But you're right. Even with like the capitalized new controller, it's like, oh, so this is a new controller. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, that never worked, did it? That was never a thing.
It did. It was all right.
Did it?
Yeah, that stuff weren't too bad actually.
Great catch. I remember this part from the
This was good.
This
was good.
Get new views.
Wii Sports U, the golf on it's tremendous.
Put it on Switch, you cowards.
No caddy.
Yeah, Switch Sports still needs to happen.
I'll be there day one for that. I don't even care if it's just the same again.
See, and that's the other thing. They put all this stuff in, didn't they, as well, which made it you feel like it was still just the Wii.
Yep. Yeah, my BMI hasn't looked like that for a long time.
Never looked like that.
Oh, I remember that. Peripheral.
Did that even get released, that?
No. Don't think so.
It's like Silent Scope.
This did.
Yeah, that was alright.
Yeah, it was okay.
David, we did this once.
Yeah,
we did.
Did you?
We did this.
We did this once, once we tried it.
You
I
did
don't
it.
remember that.
Yeah, it was terrible, because it was really poor quality.
Yeah. You could draw on it for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, why are consoles obsessed with Yeah. Oh yeah, you could reveal an image, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That's great.
That was on the Wii, wasn't it? We had the curtain.
Yeah, this was
thing,
the
like,
thing. Yeah,
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Just, yeah. Chen was sitting there watching TV, and then suddenly, this thing's on the TV. It's brilliant.
Get more
New
detail.
controller.
There was no way you could
mean
put
maps?
more detail. Oh yeah, it was just maps, wasn't
More maps.
it? Ugh.
Hang on, was this ever a real game?
No,
No,
that was the
wasn't, was it?
concept stuff
Yeah,
before
yeah,
Breath of the Wild.
Because then
wasn't it?
everyone was like, "Oh, well, where's that realistic one we want?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why has he put it down in the middle of a boss fight?
See, why, when they did that, didn't they just put the console next to it
Yeah.
as well? Just
Yeah.
to show that that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, look, they're not like thrilled, are they?
Well, they were very confused.
There he
playing
is.
Angry
Here he
Birds,
is.
it's
Rest in
2011.
peace. Everyone give it a little salute.
But it probably raised
Okay,
No,
sure.
just me.
several
All right.
others. So please let me provide a little more explanation.
It's sad though.
Up
A
until
little more
now,
explanation,
home
guys.
console
It's
games
going to clarify
have
everything
to
now.
Occupy the TV screen in
There we
order
go.
to
Look,
play.
just showing the controller.
Yep.
But the new controller for Wii U with
And like, I get it.
6.2
Like, obviously the
inch screen
controller is
built in
the main advancement and the whole point of it.
You
But you
won't
show it
But-
like we've seen a million
gameplay
times with the controller
when
leaning
someone
up
else
against.
comes into
Yeah,
the room
yeah.
and
Console.
wants to watch the TV program.
Do you remember also at the beginning there was this whole thing that there'd be more than one controller as well, like that. Yeah, that you could connect more
That's
than
right.
one.
Yeah,
'cause-
yeah.
yeah.
And then it
So
turned
that
out
That
never
was
happened.
that was what people. I think they never actually said that you could do that.
Hmm.
It was just that people's imagination ran wild with them.
No, I
in
don't
the
think
end,
so.
you
I'm
can-
sure they said they were working on it. Like, that
Right,
it was
let's
going to be a
see.
thing.
Let's see.
But in the end, you can only connect one, right? Is
Yeah.
it one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it used shitloads of
It's backward compatible.
network
So
power,
all Wii games
bandwidth. That's the word I'm after.
and
Excuse me,
other
I'd just like to
accessories
Okay,
bail
so
out
hang
of
on.
that
So here we
sentence.
go. So he's now saying about the Wii
can
stuff.
be used. For example, to weigh yourself with Wii Fit, there is no need to use the big screen TV. But this device is designed to appeal to all people, particularly the most experienced and
Fortunately, appealed to no people.
We believe you will love the variety of play controls enabled by the new controller. It includes 2 analog circle pads,
Yeah, circle
a
pads.
plus control pad,
Yeah, people just went
as
fucking
well
nuts. I
as
remember that.
ZL and ZR buttons.
Oh look, yeah,
See,
those
that looks different. That looks different to the first shot they showed.
still in the correct position though, James.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just,
they
just
are
a weird
there.
angle.
Yeah, but in the other one, they look different.
Well, no, it,
Look at him. I love the fact that you can see his face through his bullshit now.
you're totally right.
He's like smugly smiling, knowing that he's trying to sell us some bullshit.
And an inward-facing camera. Just as with
But they were
Nintendo 3D,
it's very different in the first shot.
It was. They were the other way around.
the widest
But they were, yes.
can be supported. That means
Matt, I can
those
see you.
aimed at experienced players who can handle a number of buttons and circle paths using both their hands, and those games which can be played really intuitively without the need for any button or stylus input.
It's games that can be played without any
Please
inputs.
understand
It's
that
You mean films?
not designed to be a portable video
There are plenty of games on YouTube.
even though it shares some characteristics. The images
He also
displayed
mentioned that this machine was also very good for watching illegal football streams.
Was it?
It was
Well,
great
I
for
mentioned
that.
that.
Yeah.
I find it interesting there when I said basically this is not a portable games machine.
Yeah.
Just to I don't want any confusion here. Keep it
Taking
simple.
this
be
on a
clear.
train.
There is wirelessly transmitted without latency issues. You can play in a number of ways. Connect with an HD TV in the traditional way, and you can enjoy the most up-to-date, high-quality
The
HD
bezels on that.
even without
2011.
the screen in your hands. Or you can place the
It output at 1080p though, at least, didn't it?
It did.
If I remember. Yeah.
And play.
The controller didn't.
No,
No,
the controller was
to
like
the TV.
480p, wasn't it? I think.
Or games can be structured to use two
Controller
speeds
looked
at the
awful,
same
really.
time.
Like even back then, the screen on the controller looked rough.
So the controller, it was 400. It's 480p on the controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since 2011, so 8 years, they've only gone from 480 to 720.
Yeah.
It's crazy, really, isn't it?
Not
It's
really.
quite a few
it's
extra
Nintendo,
P.
isn't it? They always do
Put some
that.
more P in there.
There's barely any P, really.
How much P do you want them to put in, Matt?
1080p. I'm on 1080p.
There aren't enough P in the world for Matt Murray.
Oh, Matt wants more P.
I do love my P. You should check
Nintendo
my
always
search
choose
history.
like the worst stuff, to put in the things like the cheapest stuff. It's
Yeah.
We should have a bet on when we think it'll be a 4K Nintendo device. I reckon 2030.
The example you saw on the video earlier, such as playing baseball, golf, using the new zapper, are only a few of the possibilities.
So there's more than actually come out, wasn't it?
This new structure for Wii U because we want to create a strong bond between games, your TV, and the internet.
No, you
Also,
don't.
Strong bond.
No, you
Still
don't.
haven't got that.
friends and your family.
I love a strong bond with my TV. Well, I do love it, but
But also the idea
although
of
to be entirely
Nintendo.
fair, the Wii U, you could actually do voice chat on the console.
That's
So-
true. And it also had Miiverse as well.
It did.
Where you could do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe Miiverse was such a failure. Now they're like, fuck the internet.
Yeah.
It wasn't though, was it? Loads of people. Well, okay, everyone that owned a Wii U used it, I think.
That's about 12 people used it.
Include web browsing. Using the big screen for sharing the photos or videos. you found
Sharing
online.
photos and videos.
Did anyone ever do
online.
this?
Enjoying video
Yes, I
chat.
told you.
Yes, yeah, we did.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot.
sorry, yeah,
'cause
yeah.
you do the curtain thing, but it was
While
always a
watching a
penis
TV.
behind it.
It's a new structure for home entertainment. But to be sure, the most important factor for gamers is how this new structure can be incorporated into gameplay. So, let's hear first from the developer who has given
Oh, should have
given
practiced.
the most thought so far.
That was the moment it finally hit him that the Wii U was shit. Just in that moment right there.
Man,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
like-
I'm sorry, I've got to go.
Yeah, it's like, hang
This is
on.
bad.
Wii U. It sounds like a Wii. Oh no. It sounds like a controller.
What are we
for the
doing?
Wii.
What are we doing? This is.
We can make games that you play only in the palm of your hands, even
Bop,
when something
bop.
else is on TV. And we can also
That's
make
not his real voice.
entertainment that uses
It also looks like he's not
and
sure if he
songs.
believes what he's saying either.
No.
Designers
He's looking
decide
around.
how to
Yes.
use it based on what is best for the games
Like,
they're
just get some footage of him talking about whatever, and then we'll dub it over saying the console's actually good.
both ways.
Yeah,
But
he's
we
actually
won't say
saying.
it's a console.
He's actually saying, "Help me,
We
please."
have completely fucked this.
Yeah,
Look at
what
his
are we
face on
doing?
Full screen.
People are going to think it's a controller. They're like, oh.
More than anything, I'm really looking forward to new styles of play in ways we haven't thought of yet. I think this has a lot of possibilities. And there are so many, we're just trying to
We're
decide where
Nintendo,
to
we
begin.
cannot foul.
I think
These people will lap this shit up.
there won't be a shortage of
Oh, I
can't
love
even
that.
use it in the
That was
toilet.
so good. Can we go? Oh, am I going to screw it by going back?
No, you're right. I think.
Let's see what happens. Oh, it's going to fuck it, isn't it?
No, you're right. There you go.
Alright.
Want to
games
like?
can be designed both ways.
He talks about the ideas. And it's almost
More than
David Brent
anything,
like.
I'm really looking forward to new styles of play in ways we haven't thought of yet. I think this has a lot of possibilities. And there are so many, we're just trying to decide where to begin. I think there won't be a shortage of ideas.
Yeah, we've got loads of ideas. All right, talk about them. Yeah, well,
won't be-
it's just
there won't be a
you know,
shortage.
Yeah, we just so many. Just, you can't really pick one
That,
out.
that is
Yeah.
it. The whole thing with this console, though, isn't it? Is it's like there's loads of things you can do with this. It's just great, and they're like, well, what can you do? But just loads of things. You know?
Matt,
So, look, we can
any
do
more of
Nintendo
these?
Land.
I want to watch that again.
Yeah, more of these.
Ways.
More of these.
More than anything, I'm really
go.
looking forward to new styles of play in ways we haven't thought of yet. I think this has a lot of possibilities. And there are so many, we're just trying to decide where to begin. I think there won't be a shortage of ideas.
That is really weird.
Have you got any? No, I can't. I'm not going to tell you
that's
now.
a
Have you
free
got that? Oh
record,
yeah,
that's
we've
it.
got loads. Have you? Yeah, we've got loads. Don't worry. Can you tell one? I'm not going to tell you one now.
Won't be
We've,
sure.
we've got loads.
Too many, if anything.
Trust me. We don't
We've
want to
got
start
this
with one.
game. We've got this game. You know,
Yeah,
we got this game.
Yeah. He's got an idea. He's got an idea. He's got an idea.
I think as the third-party developers are also thinking up all of their own new ideas.
Don't sound confident. Do not sound confident of that.
Yeah,
Also, third-party developers are also thinking of ideas, and my friend Brian's got an idea.
Yeah, my
I
mate's
spoke to
got
my
loads of
nan.
ideas.
She's got the ideas too. If you have an idea, email ideas@nintendo.co.uk.
Also, it's like he's going. We've got so many great ideas. Now, have a look at new Super Mario Bros. U.
Yeah.
The launch.
You know, golf on Wii Sports. It's like it's Wii Sports bat.
That is true. That's the other thing as well. It's that, you know, they're talking about how innovative it is, and all we've seen so far, we're halfway through this. All we've seen so far is Wii games,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
pretty
Wii
much.
stuff. Like
And
the
even like
balanceable stuff.
the sort of the Wii U stuff that they've shown isn't that groundbreaking. So like Nintendo Land, like you remember the Zelda game
Yeah.
on that. So it was like, and that was really cool. So it's like you had people with the swords and then one person with the bow and arrow. There's been no mention of like that sort of interesting sort of, you know, people with like different controllers doing different things.
Yeah.
Like that was the only sort of cool thing about the Wii U really, and they haven't mentioned that at all.
And also, the other thing I remember is that at the end, they do like this is what our third parties are doing. And it was all just like ports of old 360 games. And that was it, basically.
So many ideas.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Our vision for the future of the Wii U console will include numerous ways to
numerous ways to play.
So many ways to play.
Lots of ways to play.
Yeah.
How
So
many?
many.
Find them,
So
but
numerous.
Just loads.
Just so many ways to play.
Just so many.
Numerous, some might say, and some might say it twice.
In text format at e3.nintendo.com. As Mr. Miyamoto indicated, we are facing an unusual situation.
Yeah, you are.
As
New situation, new console, no games or ideas.
he really should have said, as he indicated, we have a lot of ideas. At the moment.
developer myself, I also feel this. New ideas are popping up one after another.
So many ideas.
Really weird.
Popping up.
Alone.
It really does sound like they put this together the night before.
Yeah.
I explained the concept of Wii U to Mr. Sakurai, who was developing Kid
Great.
Icarus.
Can you explain the concept of that
We
to
were
us?
discussing which platform his next game should be developed for, Nintendo 3DS or Wii U.
So he chose 3DS, from what I remember.
Like, get that Wii controller out of my sight.
Well, this is after Kid Icarus Uprising, right? So didn't he then go on to do
Yeah.
what did he do on the Wii U? I can't remember.
No, it only ended up on the 3DS, I'm sure.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then what after that? What did he do?
I think he
I'm trying to
retired.
Did it? Okay, that was it. Called it a day. No more good consoles. Fuck it.
The ideas are gone.
No,
Just no ideas. Man.
Brothers for both Nintendo 3DS
Whoa.
and Wii U to make it work together on both platforms.
But that hardly ever happened, right?
No.
Very
Well,
rarely.
no, there were a bunch of games that came out that were like very similar to each other. Like you got so Smash Brothers came out on 3DS and on Wii U like at
Right,
the
yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
But they didn't work together or anything like
No,
that.
and you
It
had to
was
buy them
just,
twice. Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a-
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not stupid.
No.
For the kid.
Dave, we can see you're on video, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't go
I
into
just
detail.
received a text from James.
Oh, I. Go on then.
James?
No. No, go on. No, you don't mind me checking my phone. I've forgotten what it is. I'd need to check it again to read it. Go on.
Go and read it out.
No, let's
Share it with the
continue with
class.
I mean,
Let's
James, you sent
continue
the
with it.
message. You should presumably also remember what it was about. Do
Yeah.
you want to tell us?
I forgot. It was quite a long
Shit.
time ago.
Was
Yeah,
it?
I know, yeah.
Okay, you'd have to
Unfortunately,
check
can't.
your phone again, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Can't have
You've
the
got
phones.
so many messages. It's hard to
Yeah.
remember just one of them, isn't it?
Yeah. In today's busy world,
Yeah.
so
Just messages just popping up constantly. Yeah.
Just
But
continue
messages
with the
popping
video.
up like ideas over
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
But I think I have just promised you that Smash Brothers will be developed for Nintendo 3DS and for Wii U, and that the software will work together in some fashion.
In
Of
some
course,
fashion.
This is a program for the future. But here in LA, there is Wii U software to play this week. Let me call Reggie back onto the stage and ask him to explain.
They keep just going around to get different people to try and explain it.
I just realised I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm going to get my pal
Thank
in,
you, Mr. Iwata.
and I'm off.
Stating that Wii U will change the way you play games is a pretty bold assertion.
Yep.
So this week, we're providing tangible proof. In the convention center, you're going to find 8 different interactive. Now, please note, those from Nintendo
Oh, did
are
that
not
just skip ahead on
prototypes of
anyone
actual
else's?
No,
games.
no, you didn't. No.
They're just
Okay.
interactive demonstrations.
Well, are you now in the Switch presentation?
Yeah. No, it just cut from like one sentence to another, but it's fine. I'm sure
We
didn't
did. You need to go back a little bit.
Okay.
I think he says that they've got 8
Yeah.
experiences,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they're not actually going to get to use the console. I think that's what he was saying. Listen.
So this week, we're providing tangible proof. In the convention center, you're going to find 8 different interactive experiences. Now, please note, those from Nintendo are not prototypes of actual games. They're just interactive demonstrations.
What?
It's just tech
Let me show
demos,
you
is what he's saying.
Yeah.
an early example of what this system can do.
This really, really is a weird presentation. This
Yeah,
is really,
super
really
weird.
bizarre.
They've said nothing so far.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We've seen nothing really.
Bird game.
No wonder people were confused.
What was this? I don't remember this.
It's
I
just a tech
I
demo.
don't think it was a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Although
Wii
it
U could
reminds
not
me of,
shift a game that looked like that, could it?
Reminds me of Edith Fincher there, to be honest.
Wow.
Was that one of you guys that said that?
Yeah.
Like the Wii U could not run this. No chance.
Weren't they going to show us like throwing ninja stars at the bird or something?
Yeah, 2 seconds.
What would you? What? How? Oh my god! It would it be so good if it cut back to Reggie and he's got one pad in each arm and just like flapping it about.
With a little
Standing on a
rose
balance
between his
ball.
teeth.
Yeah. Stand on the balance board with a weed vitality sensor attached to his dick.
I wasn't expecting you to go there.
No.
Oh, I went there. Who's disappeared? James, have you got?
Oh, no.
What was that?
It's a tech demo.
But he's
But
just
it
said,
wasn't. It wasn't. What was it a tech demo of? That wasn't running on a Wii U. It didn't show anything being done with the controller.
But this is it. Sean.
It was
He's-
implied it
he
was
just
running
said,
on a Wii U.
we've got 8 interactive experiences that prove to you that you'll be playing Wii U in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And then he showed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Which
What
was
does
not
that-
helpful at all.
Well, I think it's here's an example of.
That is the most
you-
baffling thing
But
in the whole
what's
thing
it?
we've
What's
seen
it an
so far.
example of? I
Well,
don't
let him
understand.
speak. Let him see if he tries to explain it.
Yeah.
Let me highlight a couple of more experiences.
No, he just moved straight on. He just moved straight on.
straight
How
on.
on?
And to do that, I'm going to focus on how the new controller can change things.
Go on.
The first is simple. Something that looks a lot like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but in this conceptual
Because
state,
it is it.
it's being called New Super Mario Bros. Me.
What?
That's right.
Is that what they
Okay.
called it initially?
No.
Or
No,
me,
he's
playing
saying that
right
this is just a
alongside
short
Mario.
experience.
Oh, this is what.
And
Right.
you can
Yeah.
watch the action on either of the screens. Second, the new controller can now take the game world off the TV and spread it all around you, letting you peer into it from any angle. This one is called shield pose.
What
If
the
you don't move
fuck?
controller back and forth, up
What
and
the
down,
fuck?
pilot arrows are going to come from you from all directions and find their mark. Third, a new
This is
form
what we
of
call shield
multiplayer.
pose.
Chase Me is set in a familiar-looking Nintendo
Okay,
world.
so this ended up
Chase
Nintendo
me.
Land.
Yeah.
That
being
world
yeah
looks
Nintendo
very
Land. Yeah.
different
It was pretty good.
depending
Mario
whether you're
Chase, wasn't
holding
it?
a
Yeah,
Wii
it was fine.
remote
Yeah.
or the new controller. If you've got the new controller, you've got a bird's
See, again,
eye
this
view
they still
of
haven't
the
clarified that this is actually a new
finding
console.
Yeah, again, it's just
And
if
then-
you've got the new controller, like
Yeah.
or the fucking console that you need to
Show
use.
floor,
Oh
make sure
my
to
god!
try
And
both
also, they
sides.
keep showing like Wii remotes as well all the
Yeah.
time.
We applied that same idea to create a different kind of shooter. Two galactic fighters on the ground are shooting up at a spaceship. And up there,
I'm sorry. They're doing what on a spaceship? They're
Shooting-
shooting up.
shooting
They're
up.
shooting up.
There, yeah.
They're shooting up.
So they do get into this stuff a little bit, to be
the
fair.
pilot is looking down, blasting away from his viewpoint. I'll warn you in
A lot of
advance,
innuendo.
it's not easy. But man, it's a lot of fun.
It's not easy.
Now, to repeat, what I've just described are prototypes, not actual games.
I love this.
We
Just to
have
be
no
clear,
game.
I know they sound shit, but they're not. They're not real.
For Wii U. Nintendo will publish the Lego City Stories in partnership with TT Games.
God,
a
imagine
Warner
that. That's
Brothers
like your big
entertainment
reveal
company.
of like the first thing you're going to show is you got a Lego game.
Yeah,
There's
and
like-
the
there's like
loading
one of
times
those
on that
movies.
motherfucker were insane as well, weren't
Remember-
they?
yeah,
It was a
'cause
good
remember
game.
Because we talked about this is still in the Joypod days, wasn't it? I remember we talked about it, and Michael was like, "No, like Lego City is huge, like
Yeah.
but only if you it's not like Lego Star Wars or Harry Potter or whatever,
yeah.
but it is massive." But yeah,
But-
this was a weird announcement.
This
No, but
actually
I remember
reminds
at
me
the
of the
time-
discs. Do you remember the discs for this thing? Matt, you probably don't know this, do you? Because you never owned one.
No.
But the discs were very strange.
They were.
You know when you hold a disc, you put your finger in the middle of it, and then you put your thumb on the edge, right? Well, and it feels quite sharp on your thumb. Not
Yeah.
sharp, but you can feel the edges where it's
Sort of,
squared
yeah.
off. So these were rounded
Yeah.
on the edges, right? Which I don't know the technical thing behind it, but I think they were built in a certain way. The problem was, if they were only slightly scratched, you were fucked. Like, honestly, because when I had a review unit for the Wii U before I bought one for myself to review Pikmin 3, and they sent a bunch of other games to play on the console, and one of them was Lego City Undercover. And there was a very minor scratch on that disc. Tried to play it on that console, and it was just like, nah, I ain't reading shit off that. So I know it wasn't down to it having rounded edges, but apparently it was a different way of making a disc, I guess.
This
I don't
is
know.
this is
slightly
classic
different.
Nintendo, isn't it? Because they want to control like how the
Yeah, how they
games
get pressed and
produced.
everything,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they come up with some bullshit proprietary format.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can.
Like the mini GameCube discs and stuff
Yeah,
like
exactly,
that.
and the Switch cartridges and whatever.
Yeah.
Well, one of my biggest memories around Lego City Stories wasn't this one that it wouldn't actually fit on the Wii U with the smaller memory
No, because
capacity?
it had
No, that
was
right, yeah.
no memory on it.
Yeah.
That
So
was,
it-
wasn't that? Hang on, wasn't that the Switch version you're talking about? Though?
No. I'm sure it was this one where it couldn't actually fit.
Yeah, I think you're right,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah. The Switch took that's 32 gigs. So again, Lego City would have fit on that.
This will be a new installment in the Lego series that sold over 60.
It was a good game, to be fair. I mean, I
I
only
never
played
played
it.
it.
On
I always
Switch,
wanted to. It looked actually quite funny.
More than
No,
half
it was
of
good.
those
It was quite funny. I mean, Asher
Well, you
still
can buy it
plays
for
it.
Switch, but apparently the loading times are still massive.
Loading's
Yeah.
horrendous, and also performance isn't that great either.
Right.
It's it does have slowdown and everything, but yeah, it's still pretty good though.
stories. A new open world game.
I wouldn't
packed
launch a
with
new
action,
console with it like this though.
Humor, and a whole city full of Lego vehicles is coming exclusively to both Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. In fact, developers from around
Didn't
the
get a
world
whoop, that
see
one.
the vast
Nothing.
promise of Wii U. But you don't have to take my word for it.
Yes, we
Here's
do.
a sample of what they're saying.
I mean, you've not given us a word to take you on.
No.
Once we saw the new console
Here he is.
together with the new controller, my mind immediately
Champions
started
League winner,
racing
this fella now.
to do this in the world of sports.
And there was total shock and amazement, from the team.
That doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Yeah, I mean,
Vicariously?
we've been shocked and amazed by this presentation, but probably not in the way that you're implying.
Hey,
Revolutionizes the traditional path. Connectivity, advanced graphic, an engaging interface.
The ability to have asymmetrical gameplay. So one player can be doing one thing, one other player can be doing something else on the TV.
友達の対戦やってるのを阻害せず、隣の友達が別の画面を持って楽しむこともできるし。
A full console experience that's getting streamed.
How many Wii U games did he make, Ken Levine?
Probably none.
Console gaming experience.
Not a single one.
On this, on this smaller
Well,
screen.
I mean, EA released FIFA 13, and I think that was it. I don't think for anything else.
Wouldn't it be wicked if these were all like truthful? It's like we don't understand if it's a console or a controller. We've been told that we've got ideas, but we haven't got any ideas.
It said let the games begin. There's actually like a command, like, okay, can you let's make some games now for this, please.
Please let the games begin.
Let's turn those ideas into games.
Darksiders 2, baby.
Second Wii successor.
Yeah, we played that at EGX, I remember.
It's gonna be on the new
Oh, it's the first Wii.
In Assassin's Creed, you can just imagine what the multiplayer will look like with multiple screens. And our Ghost Recon Online will leverage the fantastic.
God, I don't remember Ghost Recon Online.
I
That
don't
never
remember
happened.
being a Ghost Recon game on there.
And I don't think the Assassin's Creed multiplayer was any different from having an extra screen either.
No.
Sort of heard the voices of the hardcore gamers.
Because wasn't it just Assassin's Creed 3 or something like that? I can't remember. It was.
Yeah, there was
they only released one of
bad
them.
port of 3. The 4 was on the Wii U. That was actually how I played.
Opening up a whole new world of gameplay.
This is exactly what it takes to shape the future.
Thing is, right, it's easy to make fun, but this was the awkward first step towards the Switch, which we all really like.
Yeah, but come on.
No, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, when it's easy to laugh at people being like, "Oh, this is the future." Eventually, it kind of was. It was
but they still have done this without this console existing.
Yeah,
they didn't have to do this.
Yeah,
not only that, Sean. It's not. That's not what's funny, really. It's how badly they are even explaining the concept of what they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
This is legitimately way worse than the Xbox One.
Yeah.
At least the Xbox One had a clear message, but it was the wrong message.
Yeah.
This one has no message whatsoever, and that's worse. That's worse.
Yeah, there's been 21 minutes so far, and they've basically said you can play it on the new controller.
It's 21 minutes, and we've not even had a shot of the console.
No, not a proper one, no. Oh, great. This is meant to be alright. I've never played it. I've got it on the Wii U, though. It was I think it was part of a Humble Bundle or something.
You still own your Wii U?
It's somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where though.
Yeah, I've still got one in the garage.
Everything's in your garage.
Did this come out on the Wii U?
I don't think it did.
No.
I don't know. What is this?
That's Colonial Marine. This was the Randy Pitchford one, yeah?
Winner.
Yeah. Again, that didn't come out, I don't think.
No.
Some of these must have come out. Surely you just can't remember them.
I don't
Colonial
think it
Marines
did.
definitely didn't come out on the Wii U. No way.
No. I mean, it barely came out on PC.
And who knows if this footage was what the game actually ended up being like.
Yeah. No, that definitely didn't come out.
I wonder if we'll
Still,
see
look at that
Devil's
blue. Look, that was before. PUBG and Fortnite. Look at that blue circle.
I swear
No
that
way.
didn't come out either.
Look.
I'm going to
some
look
things
this
must have
up.
Come out. Yeah.
Because I swear that didn't come out. I don't remember. Hang on.
So far, you've said that didn't come out, that didn't come out, that didn't come out. Did it? I can't believe that's the case.
I mean,
Oh, it was cancelled. That
Okay.
Metro that was
Okay.
cancelled.
What about Dirt? And the rest
In fact, actually, the first news story on Google says Metro Last Light developer calls the Wii U CPO horrible and slow. Oh, okay, so Ghost Recon became Ghost Recon Phantoms.
All right.
I don't think it came out, though.
Okay, brilliant.
This came out.
Right. I think this did.
Right, can you pause it? Can you pause it? Because I want to check this, because I don't remember that coming out either. Hang on,
Pretty sure it did.
Guys, I need to pop away for just a couple of seconds. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, no, it did. It did come out. 2012.
Okay, right. Well, can you check on Dirt? There's
Yeah,
Dirt. That's the one you said.
Yeah.
Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Dirt Wii U. Let's have a look. Yeah, that did come out. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, fair dues. Fair dues.
Go on,
All right,
Aliens.
Matt. Calm down.
No, Colonial Marines was cancelled.
It's just, right, yeah. It's just like, because the thing is, okay, so some of these did come out, but this won't have been the best way to play any of them.
No.
Like, there's just no, there's no chance. I mean, so like Arkham City added, was it Arkham City or Arkham Asylum we got in the end? I thought it was just Arkham Asylum, but they mentioned Arkham City before.
Yeah.
And it had it was like the Armored Edition or something, and it had all you could do stuff on the screen. And it was like delayed, and then it came out, and no one cared.
It was Arkham City.
The thing
It was Arkham City. Okay, fair enough.
I assume it was a map you could look at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or inventory management.
Also, Rayman had that as well. Like, because Rayman Legends, I think it was, it came. I think it may even come out first on Wii U, and it had like extra features and stuff that you could do, where one person could use the Wii U pad, and then someone else could.
But wasn't it? It was massively crippled because didn't it turn out that like PlayStation or either Sony or Microsoft basically insisted that anything multi-format has to have like full, like functionally has to be the same. Yeah.
What did I miss?
We're talking about games that did or didn't come out. Alien Colonial Marines didn't. Dirt did.
Dirt did.
That's what we got to.
Dirt did.
Ghost Recon
did.
Had a name change. I'm not
did
sure. This did as well.
I love shooting the legs of his giant robot spider. One of my favourite things to do. I suppose you forget, like, there was a lot of gore in that, right?
Yeah.
Between that and Metro, and you forget that this was them sort of kicking against the whole image that the Wii had.
Yeah. This is when it becomes on stage, isn't it? I remember seeing it on stage on the edge of a stage.
Everything you see this week is just the first pass. We've got a lot to look forward to when they arrive in final form.
I'm very happy that so many developers already are responding
with crappy ports.
for creating a new structure for home video game system, the one we were proposing with Wii U. It can satisfy all tastes with deeper gameplay action and wider appeal. To lend one final perspective, we have invited Electronic Arts, the most successful independent publisher in industry history, to join us on stage. Please join
do they show FIFA here?
They must do.
CEO of EA, Mr. John Riccatello.
Or was it Mass Effect? Wasn't it? Didn't they?
Yeah, because Mass
mention
Effect 3 came out on it.
It's when Riccatello is still in charge, isn't it? Oh, bit of arcade fire there.
Lovely old job.
Yeah.
They lasted 2-3 games.
Yeah, then
they checked it in.
Yeah. But again, this was a big deal, wasn't it? Because EA just binned the Wii off.
Yeah. But this is it. We're saying that this is them sort of laying down the law. Like we are putting proper games on this system,
Yeah.
but we thought that system was the Wii.
And again, you could look at that and be like, oh my god, that's Battlefield and that's Mass Effect and that's Dead Space and oh my god, it must all be coming to the Wii U. This is going to be amazing.
So look, we've got a Madden game coming. You know, the whole thing. Yeah.
We look forward to seeing great EA content on this new platform. Imagine playing football with an innovative new controller that takes all that data, all of that play calling off the big screen, leaving you with a sharper, more personal, more immersive
Not sharper though, was it?
No.
Imagine a shooter like Battlefield.
Battlefield did not
keep
come out
imagining
on
that
the
didn't
Wii
happen
U.
either.
Keep on dreaming.
Character animations of the Frostbite engine, brought to you on a Nintendo system.
But they actually said Frostbite can work on Wii U in the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
Imagine those games with an open
It barely works on
online
much else these
functionality
days.
that allows you to download new content, find matches, compete on leaderboards, and participate in a global community. And finally, imagine these EA games on a console with content, gameplay, and community that can be extended to mobile, social networks, as well as the web.
What? What does that mean?
Over the past
Lord
months,
HP.
we've been
God,
telling
look at
our
his face.
employees and consumers
He
that
looks
EA is
traumatized.
undergoing a
That's just like that. It's just the.
We're changing games from a thing that you buy to a place that you go. Nintendo's next console is truly transformational as well. A better platform.
The Sims must have come out on the Wii U, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Deeper online
Yeah.
capability, and
Army
all
of
of it
Two.
driven by an unprecedented partnership between Nintendo and Electronic Arts. Thank you. We can't wait to see EA games on this new system.
Here he goes.
From the cheap jokes write themselves with this presentation.
Yeah, no, they really do. I had about 8 punchlines there. That's it.
That was it.
Jesus.
Wow.
You're right though, Dave. That was way worse than the Microsoft one. At least.
Yeah, and I mean,
there was-
look, I loved my Wii U, and the games I played on it, I loved that. I mean, it had so many great games on it.
Yeah.
I loved it, but it was a mess, and it was a mess
what
from
games?
the start.
What games are great on it?
Bayonetta
so-
2 was amazing.
Yeah, Bayonetta
Yeah.
2, Mario 3D World,
Splatoon?
Tropical Freeze,
Wonderful 101.
Pikmin,
Oh yeah,
um,
Pikmin 3 was ace. Yeah.
Mario Kart 8. Remember that was a Wii U
Yes.
game before it was a Switch one.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
I mean, that's
I
yeah.
don't,
You
I don't
can't.
really count that one, but you know, there was loads of good games for it.
There was.
But it got to the point where it was just Nintendo games, and obviously they were releasing them, you know, maybe 2 a year or whatever, and it wasn't enough for it to be like a proper powerhouse
It
console.
was, yeah, it was sparse, wasn't it? For a long
I mean,
time.
do you remember those Nintendo Directs that they did, particularly towards the end, and just
Yeah,
how
that was
painful
rough
they were?
going, man.
It was just.
But yeah, Yoshi's Woolly World was another one. There was some cracking games on it, but they really fucked it up from the start.
Yeah.
I mean, that told us nothing. And all it was like, oh, this is our new thing. It's really cool. We've got some ideas for it. You can do cool things with it.
So many ideas.
It's cool.
So
It's
many.
really, you know, there's things. It's going to change the way you play games, and we're not just telling you that. We're going to show you it. And there are games. We've got some ideas. And
Numerous
it's
ways to
like-
play.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you've got to remember that what you see here is not doesn't represent
bullshit.
any game that we're actually making. It's just
And then I think the most exciting thing was that EA were coming to Nintendo, and they just didn't.
And they mentioned
deliver.
Battlefield.
Nintendo was on Wii as well. I mean, they released all those.
Nintendo on Wii.
Yeah,
No, sorry,
Nintendo was
EA
on Wii,
were
weren't
on
they?
I can't believe they got Nintendo on Wii.
Yeah, I know. That was quite the shock. The biggest shock was when Nintendo was on Wii.
We're bringing Nintendo games to the Wii.
And just like, yeah, so basically, so that happened, didn't it? And then everyone was on Twitter being like, right, so what was that? And then people were going back, screen grabbing the little shots we got of the console and being like, that looks sort of different.
Yeah,
Like
is
it's like
it
got
sort
like
of
slightly
curved?
rounded edges. Yeah, slightly curved. And so like, right, well, it might be a new console. And then didn't we have to wait until Nintendo actually put a bunch of stuff up on the website and there was actual images of it?
Yeah.
I remember there being
remember
a
it being
press
confusion.
release where it was literally just to confirm this
Yeah.
is a completely new console, or a quote from Nintendo saying
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how did this happen? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I really think that a lot of this was because the Wii was such a massive success, and it really was, that they began to feel like just whatever they did was.
No,
was
I
gonna
don't
come
think
off.
that's true. I think that there's definitely a reason why they didn't want to show the console. There's
Do you
definitely
think
a
it's
reason.
just a case of like everyone who worked on that presentation was just too close to it and just didn't
No,
realise it wasn't?
That's
obvious?
exactly
There's
what I think
no
it was.
way they haven't got a team that work on communication. There must have been a legitimate message reason, a reason why we didn't see the console itself. I think maybe the idea behind it was, look, we want to show how innovative this is, and the console itself, just it's so similar to looking to the Wii.
Yeah, the console
that
is just a
showing
box.
that won't explain why you need to get this new one. And they probably just said completely focus on the controller. Like, that's the message.
Yeah, because the controller
is what changes
thing,
everything.
isn't it?
That's what makes it unique. And in that sort of thought process, they took that too far.
But
You know what I
see,
mean?
or
They misunderstood. They were off the mark with how confusing that is.
I mean, aside from the presentation, though, as a concept, I think this was the stage where Nintendo didn't realise, like, how far behind they were in terms of like power and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that they really believed that it didn't matter because it hadn't mattered with the Wii.
Yeah.
They just thought it really doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want with this, and it's going to be fine because we've got these great ideas and stuff.
And that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, the concept behind the controller is a fantastic one. And okay, it was limited, right? Fair enough. But even then, it was still great. I remember the first time I got the Wii U and I was playing a game and I pressed that button and suddenly it just come up on the pad and I loved it. And what they were trying to do was sort of reconnect with gamers because they certainly lost that audience throughout the Wii's lifespan. And I think they learned with the Wii is that when you do tap into the mass market like that, it's almost always a flash in the pan. You know, they will go out and they will buy games like crazy in the first 6 months, and then they'll forget about it. And it was, the Wii, the success of the Wii felt like loom bands. You know what I mean? It's like this massive sort of fucking hell, everyone wants this console, but people weren't regularly buying games for it because it was that thing that everyone needed to own for that period of time. And then because they hadn't connected with, or they'd lost connection with gamers, that extended prolonged period of purchases of their games and accessories and all that sort of faded. When they released this, they were saying, look, we need to reconnect with that audience. So that's why you got stuff like EA up there and the sort of, as you say, the more gory games and stuff. But at the same time, they didn't want to lose the family sort of, that they didn't want to lose that mass appeal either. And I think within themselves, within what they were targeting, the message got confused within Nintendo. I think that's the only way that this could have possibly happened. And
but it was also
the result of that was spitting this thing out.
But it's also the other problem is they didn't want to spend any money either, like in terms of like the hardware, because the biggest problem with the Wii U, I mean, one of the ideas of this was clearly to try and get third parties and everything back on board so that you could you'd have the similar catalogue to like whatever the PS3 or Xbox 360 had or whatever. But it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it didn't
and that
even
was
match
the problem.
those, did it? Yeah.
No, it didn't match them, and that was the big issue. I mean, if it had been more powerful than like PS3 or whatever, then it probably could have done lasted a bit longer. I think than it did.
Yeah, because as I say, like all those ports wouldn't have been shit. And then maybe this was a viable main console. Plus, but
they've still got the barrier of dealing with the second screen stuff, right?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you could
straight ports
for that stuff. You could ignore it or whatever, or just use it as like a second screen for if you didn't watch stuff that's on TV or whatever.
And for maps.
Yeah, but not initially. Initially, that was I can almost guarantee that they were forcing people to use that second screen.
Yeah. I mean,
otherwise, eventually they got to that point where they were just like the second screen's black.
So
And not all
2011.
games run on it.
2011. So the 360 had been around for what, 4, 5 years?
Yeah. It was quite old by this point.
Yeah, so there's really no excuse for being so behind in terms of power, was there? I mean, all right, it's running 2 displays, but
I remember towards the end.
It was a dead end though, wasn't it? Because it was still. I mean, the Wii was basically the GameCube, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And just maybe a little bit more powerful, but basically a GameCube.
Yeah.
This was the same tech again, and it had kind of like reached its like the end point by this stage.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we're slagging off the tech and stuff. The fact that the video streaming worked as flawlessly as it did, like I haven't seen anything else do that as well since. Like I can't stream from my PS4 to my Vita, for example, and it be as good as it was on the Wii U.
That's fair.
Which is for all sorts of complicated reasons, but just credit where it's due, it did that really well.
As long as you didn't choose the wrong Wi-Fi channels, like on your router in your house.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and do you remember when it first came out? If your phone was using like a 5 gigahertz
we had an argument
router,
about that,
we
actually.
did. So you had to like fucking knock the Wi-Fi off your phone every time you wanted to use the Wii U.
See, also I kind of remember, David, when you had one, like. No, was it you, Sean, that had like because you had one right from the beginning, and like it had chronic loading time problems as well. Like it was quite a long time until they fixed the OS as well. So
no, there was a massive day one patch, firmware update, but that took forever. I think maybe is that what you're thinking of? Yeah, there was a firmware update that took like 3 hours or something.
I'm sure I remember you moaning about it as well, like how long it was taking to like load up and everything, like stuff.
I can't remember. I remember. My biggest problem with it was like, where the fuck do you charge this thing? Like, I didn't have enough power ports around my telly anymore, and it was like, so I had a cable behind my sofa. So when I stopped playing, because you had to charge it pretty much every time you'd finish playing, I'd have to plug it in and then just stick it behind my sofa.
Did you ever look at the battery in it?
No.
So in the Wii U controller, if you open up the little battery compartment, the battery they actually put in it is about
AA.
No, it's about half the size of the actual space.
Wow.
So you can put a battery in. So they obviously made the room for it and then went, fuck that. We'll just
we can save some cost on this.
Exactly. I mean, the good news is that then meant you could buy a third-party one that was like twice as good, but still pretty poor.
They don't wear cheap either.
Yeah. So what a shame, the old Wii U.
Yeah,
I loved the Wii U. I really did, but
it was a great console.
Yeah, and
that just sums it up.
The stuff they were saying about bringing people together. We had one Christmas, the first Christmas after it had come out, and so my wife's family all came over. And to be fair, we had an amazing Christmas evening, just playing like Nintendo Land stuff. It was proper good fun because me being the gamer, I had the controller, and everyone else was doing stuff with the Wiimotes, and it worked because it meant like they were doing sort of less complicated things, and just everyone was able to get involved and have a good time. So that was really cool. That's like a really fond memory of mine.
It was also the first console I had with Rachel, like when she was first played games.
Yeah,
and
same
we
with
played
Harry.
like Mario 3D World and stuff like that, and it was brilliant.
But speaking of what good games came out on it, fucking Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Harry would sit there with a pad and the stylus and just create Mario levels. It was so much fun.
So there's
loved the console, but it was doomed from the start, man.
Yeah.
It was a shame that it didn't that there wasn't sort of like the indie game wave at that time.
Yeah.
Because that could have probably helped it a lot.
Yeah.
In the same way it did with the Switch.
Yeah, totally.
But they were quite strict on what would be let.
Yeah, wasn't it like I wasn't that keen on indie games in the beginning.
This is when Nintendo still looked down on indie stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because they didn't. I think I remember. Who's it? I remember talking to John Pickford.
Pickford brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember he was saying like, well, basically because we work in like a home address, they won't send us a dev kit.
Yeah, you need an office, didn't you?
Yeah,
you needed to have a separate office.
Yeah.
And then they barely gave out like licenses to make games.
Exactly. So obviously, if you're an indie dev, that's just rules you out. So.
Imagine what Switch would be like if there's no indie games on it.
Pretty rubbish.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. There are a lot of good games on it, obviously, but I'm still the majority of games I play on that are indie games. Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well then,
is that us?
Yeah, I'm shattered.
Yeah, same. Right, thanks very much for watching this. Obviously, if you're watching this in June, that means you've paid for the privilege, so much appreciated. Hopefully this one won't get fucking flagged as... No, it wasn't flagged, was it? It was a content...
It was copyright
strike.
Instantly, yeah. Hopefully that won't be the case.
Even though this has very clearly got... Was it Game Videos logo all over it? But they don't technically exist anymore. So
yeah,
I'm sure
RIP.
But yes, thank you very much for watching this, and we will see you in a month, or patreon.com/TCGS or thecomputergameshow.com. If you've stumbled across this, have a look at all the other stuff we do. Far too much to go into at this point, but yeah. Cheers for watching. Take care. Cheerio.
Thanks a lot.
Goodbye.